Well, hello, welcome again to just a read through of Iliad book 22, and I got up last time to verse or line 25. So at this stage we've had a nice simile here of Achilles racing back towards Troy compared to a prize-winning horse, and now the camera goes back to Priam. And we're going to have Priam is going to see Achilles running and is going to warn his son. We have a sort of narrative pattern here that you often get in Homer. You've got action, Achilles is running, and then Priam notices him, and then you get this reaction where Priam warns Hector to come inside the walls. So he begins here, ton de hogeron priamos protos iden ophthalmoisi. So the old man Priam first, it's actually an adjective here, but it's really playing the part of an adverb. He was the first one to see him. So Priam, the old man Priam, first saw him with his eyes, and he saw in apposition to the ton pamphinonth. Now this is something like glittering, and it's a reduplicated present participle, and then we also have a nasal infix here. So pamphinonth, it's from phino, so it's something like shining or glittering, like a star making haste over the plain. Petioio genitive here. He, or well, like a star which, and we get another simile here. So which, the asin is from Amy Ibo, which doesn't have a future sense in Homer. So which comes, and the te is generalizing te. It's often used in these similes. You often don't translate it. So which comes in ophores. This is the harvest time. It's late summer. There's an extended note in Leaf and Bayfield's commentary if you want to have a look at it. It's there. Well, you continue on here. So arid zeloi, it's and the hoi algae. So its rays are conspicuous for them, and they shine with among the many stars. And then this funny expression, nuktos amalgo. The amalgo is of doubtful origin, uncertain origin. This expression occurs elsewhere. It means something like in the dead of night. So it comes in the late, or the harvest time in the late summer. Its rays are conspicuous for them. They shine among all the stars in the dead of night, which they call kaleusin, and epiclasin is like a nickname, so they call as a nickname the dog of Orion. The star referred to here is Sirius. Lamprototos, men, we get a nice men and de, so on the one hand, it is in fact most bright, but it is also an evil sign. Tetuktai is often used, this is from Tuco. It often just can be used like the verb to be. It's sort of like it sets up, it creates an evil sign. And now the point I think here is that the hot summer often brought illnesses and fever, just as Achilles is going to bring grief to Hector and to the Trojans. It is in fact the brightest, but it is an evil sign, and it brings much pureton. This is fever to wretched mortals. Dailoisi bratoisi. And thus the bronze of him, that is his bronze armour, Elampe, was shining all around his breast, his chest, of him running. So the to goes with, this is a participle here, genitive from theo. So it's in like manner did the bronze of him as he ran shine around his breast. Oimoxin dehogeron, the old man. Now this is from, it's the same verb we're going to see down here. It's amogo, and it means to scream out oimoi, and oimoi is a cry of despair. So the old man made a cry of despair, and he in fact kopsatot, he hit his head with his hands, anaskominos, holding, understand, his hands, hoopsos, high up. And there's the verb again. So having made a great cry of despair, the mega is adverbial here. Egegone, this is a pluperfect from gegona. It's a verb which is perfect in form but present in meaning, and this is the past tense, hence the pluperfect of it. It means to call out or proclaim. So making a terrible cry, he called out, beseeching his dear son. Hode, but he, hestake, he stood pro paroithi pulaon, in front of the gates. Now the omaton is a funny term, it's uncertain etymology, but possibly from the same root of this participle here, memaos, which is a participle from memaa, if you're looking it up. It again is imperfect in form, but it's present in meaning. It means to desire or strive earnest. So taking these together, it has the sense of to strive earnestly. So eagerly striving, if you will, to fight with Achilles. Ton dehogeron Eliana pros euda kairos oregnus. And the old man, now this is an adverb here, Eliana, I think it's piteously, addressed him. Oregnus is a participle from oregnumi, holding up his hands. And he says to him, O Hektor, me moi mimne philontekos anera tuton. The moi is not to me here. This is a real ethic dative here. It means please. The mimne connected with, well, it's another form of meno. It's a reduplicated form of meno, and the epsilons are lost. And it's being used transitively here, so do not wait for this man. So O Hektor, my dear child, please do not hang around for this man. Wait for this man. Oios alone, anuthi alone, apart from all the others. Hiname takapotmon epispes. This is from F hepo, to meet with. The verb is often used with the meaning of to wield or handle. It's often used of weapons, but it can also have the sense of to touch or encounter. So here I think meet with. So lest taka quickly you meet with your fate. Damas, having been tamed by the son of Peleus, since he is indeed very much stronger. He's much better than you, he's much stronger. Sketlios, the relentless one, probably connected with echo, in fact, with that skirt root here, the one who hangs on, a bit like our expression to hang on for grim death. So it means the relentless one. So Aether, would that, now here he's being extremely sarcastic here. So he says here, would that he might be as dear to the gods, such as he is to me. In other words, would that the gods hated him as much as I do, but he's being sarcastic. He said, would that he might be as dear to the gods to such an extent as he is to me. And then soon the dogs and the vultures, this is from Gups. So the dogs and the vultures, edoien, optative, it's from that ed root from esthio, they would eat for out on him. So, in other words, if he was as dear to the gods as he is to me, that is, if he was as hated to the gods as he is hated by me, then soon the dogs and the vultures would devour him, Chimenon lying there. Eikemoi einon apotrapidon akos elthoi. And surely, now the akos goes with the einon, and it means something like bitter grief or bitter sorrow, would come for me away from my trapidon. Translate that as heart. So bitter sorrow, it almost would be taken, but it would go away from apo goes with the elthoi really. The trapides literally is the midriff or the diaphragm, and it's regarded as the seat of thoughts and affections, translated as heart. So surely then this terrible grief would go away from my heart. Hos, he, etheka unin, he has made me unis bereft, he has made me bereft of many noble sons, of sons many and noble. Having killed, understand, some of them, and penas, and having sold them from pernami, to sell, having sold them to islands, or on islands, which are tali departen, something like remote or far off. Now the point is here, he's either killed them or he's captured them and he's sold them off to islands that are far off, making it very difficult for Priam to get them back, to pay a ransom for them. Kaiga nun due paide, for now two of my sons, Lycaon and Polydorus, I am not able to see them. Among the Trojans who are alentone, this is that from that alo, to shut in, side the city. For these two, I'm not able to see now my two sons, Lycaon and Polydorus. It's something like among the Trojans shut in into the city. Now, of course, in fact, the audience knows that the deaths of Polydorus and of Lycaon were described in detail back in books 21:407 and 20:407 and book 21:34 following. Priam doesn't know that yet, that they've been killed, and so this adds to the sadness of this. So these two sons whom Laothoe bore for me, from Ticto. Laotheo, she was Creusa Gunaikon. Not exactly clear what this is here. It might mean distinctive, famous. The Creo root sort of looks something like ruling, so it might be of high authority among women or something like this. Al amen so usi metastrate, but if they are alive with the army, then afterwards we will ransom, well, we would ransom them. It probably is subjunctive and they've shortened omicron here. So we would ransom them for bronze and gold. For there is plenty within, literally, for it is, that is, gold and bronze are inside. Polygar opasi paidigeron onomaklutos altes. Now altes has been mentioned He's only mentioned again back in book 2185. He was the king of the war-loving Leges in the southern Troad, and he's the one who's given this woman, this girl Laothoe, to be a concubine to Priam. And so he says the old man with a famous name, Altes, he gave many things, i.e. much dowry. He gave as dowry many things with his child. That is presumably referring back to Laothoe. And that is the next part of book 22.